Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
As a part-time traveling notary with a full-time job, balancing everything can be tough, especially when you're getting calls at all hours. That's where Sabrina AI comes in. Think of Sabrina as your personal assistant who answers every call, handles appointment bookings, provides quick answers to common questions, and filters out non-urgent inquiries. Sabrina works 24/7 so you never miss a client opportunity, even when you're tied up with your full-time job. With this system, you can keep things running smoothly without the stress of managing calls yourself, giving you more time to focus on your work, clients, and everything else life throws your way.
Scan the QR code for a free demo.
Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
So, all right, Drake, I have a question because, it's rare that we have you on here, but when we do, I always want to ask you the question of, because you're a visionary, how do you see the notary industry unfolding with everything that's going on nowadays, with the RON, with AI being introduced now, with electronic filings and, people doing e-logs and stuff like that? What do you see happening in the notary industry from now and let's just say the next year or two?
Great question. I think as popular as Ron is, I wouldn't be shocked if it gets rolled back a little bit.
Okay.
And here's why. Once there are, and I saw that this actually happened with a lady in her land, that if a lot of online notaries turn out to be fraudulent, I think they're gonna roll back to the more in-person stuff. It wouldn't shock me. Let me put it like that. It wouldn't shock me.
Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
Texting someone back as if, maybe you don't speak to them, but you get a chance to communicate with them better. I'm curious, Stephen, what do you think?
So I think that you definitely want to seize the opportunity. So if you can't maybe answer the phone call, but you can send that text message, I think it'll give you a little bit of a little pause, between them being like, oh, they didn't answer, and calling the next number. That pause will maybe let you wrap up what you're doing and then give them a phone call back. But honestly, I think the best is with what Sabrina offers, and that's if you miss a phone call, she then goes and goes after the client, and you don't have to wrap up what you were doing to get the phone to send that text or call the client back. You can just continue doing what you're doing, and everything is handled in the background.
So, like, for me, first of all, missing a phone call was gut-wrenching for me, because I knew the only time that phone would ring was because somebody wanted to spend money with me.
Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
So what advice would you give someone that's looking into get into the notary business and they're considering the Ron platform? What would you say?
Try to sign up with a platform where you get clients first, just to see what the process is. Take whatever you can. If you need to get a notary friend or a family member, do a dummy session. It's a learning curve. So I think you need practice before you do jump off the bridge and go on and do your own client. So get a little bit of practice, because every platform is different. And you have to feel it out and see what your platform is capable of doing. So learn everything about the platform before you actually start. Do a few witnessing. You can witness for someone and see how they do. Some of the platforms allow you to be a witness, so I think that's kind of good to sign up with these platforms and be a witness to see what another notary's procedures are. And also it gives you a feel, because you have to drop and drag your own tags as well. So
Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
Booyaka! You already know what it is. Peace, peace, peace. It's your international sales and marketing hitman, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo. And you already know what it is, man. You rocking with the best. You heard? Sandiala and the boy. Blood clot. Ras clot. Give me the money machine, man. Yes, yes. I hope you guys are making hella bread. I wish you guys nothing but success. I don't even know you, but I wish you good health, success, wealth, prosperity, love, and money. And money. Run that money machine again. God damn it. The world is a better place when you have a lot of money in your pocket. Once again, I am your humble hip-hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and I am here to bring you part 2 of why now 90% of the notaries are losing money and how to fix the bleeding. I was working on these slides for a while, and you guys know how we do, man. Jump in at any time, share your thoughts, shout out your city. We all family here. We're all family. I want you to shout out your city first, because we always have people all around the country. Shout out to Texas. Shout out to Atlanta. New York, you already know. You heard? Shout out to Cali. Shout out to Winnipeg. Shout out to Minnesota. Where else I got peeps, man? I got peeps all over this joint, man. Well, come on, man. Put your city in the chat. Put your city in the chat. We got Instagram in the building. We got Facebook in the building. We got YouTube in the building. If you want a great experience, go over to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, I could pull up your comment where I'm using StreamYard. That way I could show everybody your comments. If you have a picture profile, we're going to do that. So definitely go over to the YouTube channel. If not, it don't matter, man. We still gonna get it lit. We live wherever we go. You heard? So we're gonna be doing the notary trivia. This is good because it helps you guys keep things in focus, man. I know there's a lot of notaries out there that don't really know the lines that they're crossing. They're crossing into part attorney, part lawyer, part notary, part business auditor, part detective interrogator. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. So that's why we do the notary trivia challenge, in order to make, so you're not overstepping your boundaries, and you don't have to do all the stuff that you're doing. So if you guys are ready to go into the notary trivia challenge while you're putting in what state you're representing and stuff, do that. And you can add, let me see, let me pull this up here. There it is. I created a wheel for you guys. You heard? I created a wheel. Check it out. The Notary Trivia Challenge POA. For those that don't know what POA is, that's a power of attorney, and estate planning edition. Ladies and gentlemen, I created this on Canva, in case you were noticing. Look, y'all know, y'all talking to the plug. I am the plug. I am the outlet and the plug. Connected with me, I give you the sauce, and then you do whatever you want with it. I give you the sauce, and you do whatever you want with it. I'll let you know what I'm using, the systems I'm using, systems I would recommend that you use if you're looking to achieve a certain thing, right? So I use this on Canva AI. It's a new tool that they just rolled out about a couple of weeks ago. Really good. What I did, I went over to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I want you to create a spin wheel for a notary trivia challenge prompt so I can get it coded on Canva AI. You already know ChatGPT don't play. So it spit out a very detailed code for me. And once it did that, I went over to Canva AI, and right at the bottom, you should see a code. Now, I did a video on how you guys can access it. If you're already a paying member, I don't know why they did it. They hid it from a lot of people, but there's a way to get it. In the hello bar, you have to hit the hello bar, which is the big banner on top, 6 times. And then if you hit it 6 times, you're going to hear these little chimes go, bing, 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 bing. And then it will unlock these features for you. So it created this cool little spin wheel that we're about to do, this notary challenge. So you guys can comment true or false. It's a true or false. And then, share your score if you dare. If you dare. So I hope you guys are ready. You guys ready for the trivia challenge? Let's go. Let's go with the first question, y'all. Spin the wheel, spin the wheel. First question. Remember, it's true or false. A power of attorney document automatically expires when the principal becomes incapacitated. Now, I'm going to take the test with you guys. So let me, yeah. True or false? You could put it in the chat. You could put it in the live stream. I want to see what you guys would score. We live, baby. While you guys are doing that, let me invite some of my other audience members via email. I'll do that later. True or false, y'all? Put it in the comment section. I'll pull it up. Okay, so true or false? I'm going to say, all right, let me read the question one more time. A power of attorney document automatically expires when the principal becomes incapacitated. Now, I'll say it depends on the power of attorney that you're getting. I know with a durable power of attorney, you can continue on with the if they become incapacitated. But because it didn't say durable power of attorney, I am going to say false. Okay, that was right. So I'm 1-0 right now. All right, let's spin the wheel again. Question number 2. A will must be notarized to be legally valid in all states. I don't believe it's going to be legally valid in all states. It'll be legal in that state for that notary, but legal in all states, I'm not going to say that. So I'm going to say false. Boom! Okay, we got 2. I hope you guys are keeping your own score while we're doing this. Hope you're enjoying it. We're doing the notary trivia challenge that I created just for you guys. Spin the wheel, spin the wheel. A general power of attorney grants authority to make health care decisions. A general power of attorney grants authority to make health care decisions. I am going to say false because that would be a medical directive that would allow you to make health care decisions. So I'm going to say false. What say you? I'll give you guys a chance to answer that. And then put your score at the end. And then eventually I'm going to be giving out some prizes too. I'll be doing out some prizes. I'll be mailing out some cool little gifts for you guys, for those that wish to participate. I'll actually even pull some of you guys behind the studio audience to check this thing out. So I'm going to say false. Survey says 3-0. So far, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, you guys. Hope you guys are doing good too. Let's check out the next question. A living trust can help avoid probate. Now that I have no clue. I don't have a clue if that can help you avoid probate, but because a living trust, I'm gonna say false. I'm gonna say false on that one. I was wrong. It was true. Okay. All right. Hey, it happens, man. Let's spin the wheel again. A durable power of attorney remains effective if the principal becomes incapacitated. I just had mentioned that. So I'm going to say true off the rip. There you go. That's the answer. True. Let's spin it again. Okay. A beneficiary designation on a retirement account overrides instructions in a will. Nah, I'm gonna say false, y'all. What do you say? I'm gonna say false on that one. I don't believe that that could be true on that one. What say you? True or false? I'm gonna say false. Let's see. Oh, I was wrong again. Yo, see, I see. This is good for me too, because obviously I need some general knowledge on estate planning, man. Let's spin this wheel again. Okay, an agent under a POA has a fiduciary duty to act in the principal's best interest. I'm going to say absolutely true. I'm going to say absolutely true. What would you say? What would you say? You think true or false? Okay. Let's see what it is, y'all. Answer, I'm going to say true. Boom. We're good. We're good. We got 3 more. We got 3 more. We at the final stretch, y'all. We at the final stretch. Let's spin. In the meantime, let me send this out real quick. I'm going to read the question out to you guys. Question number 8. A spouse automatically becomes executor of the estate if there is no will. That's a great question. That's a great question. True or false? A spouse automatically becomes executor of the estate if there is no will. I think that happened with Aretha Franklin. I think there was some chaos going on with Aretha Franklin on that joint. So true or false, you guys? What do you say? What say you? What do you say? True or false? That's a tough one because I don't know. I don't know. But I am going to say a spouse automatically becoming the executor of the estate. I'm going to say true. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong. My goodness. I am 5 for 3. Dang. I'm getting my ass handed to me right here. Woo! Let's spin the wheel again. We got 2 more goals. I could at least come out with an average ass grade on this joint. A power of attorney can be created without the principal's signature. A power of attorney can be created without the principal's signature. Now, can it be created without the principal's signature? It might be a little play on words. Yes, it can be created. It would have to be created before you get the signature. So I'm going to say true. And then after it's created, then you get the signature, right? Well, what say you? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? True or false? I'm going to say true. Let's see. Dude, I'm damn near 50% on this joint, man. I'm damn near 50%. That was another wrong answer. Okay. It's playing tricks on me, man. Last spin. Last spin. Come on, man. I gotta get at least a 60% on this joint. A pour over will transfer assets into a living trust after death. I don't know what a pour over is, but because the name is called pour over, I would assume that it's transferring something into something else. So I'm going to say true. What say you? What do you think? True or false? And shout out to all my trust estate planning cats out there. I'm going to say true. Boom! Oh my God. 60%. 60%. That's my final result. 6 out of 10. How did you guys do? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. I got 60%. Damn. That's a C. Ain't it? C minus or D or something, man. Damn. Okay, but when it comes to power of attorneys, I'm highly skillful in the power of attorney market. The trust, not so much, obviously. So I put your score in the chat. I'd like to know what you guys' score was, and give you a shout out of what your score was on this thing, man. But I want to thank you guys for playing this game show. That was the best game show song that I can find without hitting any copyright infringement. So again, I used Canva to create this trivia thing. If you guys would like to play the trivia or retake the trivia, I am going to put it in the chat. on YouTube. I'll put it in the live chat for you guys so you can actually play it on your own. Give me a second here. We're also going to go into, I prepared some really cool slides for you guys to show you why 90% of notaries are losing money and they don't even know it. Oh, give me a second, y'all. Christian, grab him, take him upstairs. Let me finish this live, buddy. Grab him, take him upstairs so I can finish the live. Thank you. Come on, do it. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm back. All right, let me remove this. And then I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys. Go to YouTube and you'll be able to access that. It'll take you directly to that trivia spin wheel, and then you can play with your friends, share with other notaries, you know. So it's a cool game. It's a cool game to play. So let's go into the next topic, man. Switch stages here. Go to main discussion stage. Yeah. So as I continue this wonderful journey as a notary, entrepreneur, businessman, marketer, salesperson, whatever you want to coin me as, there's so many things that have come across our table. And I love meeting new notaries, especially the ones that are now coming into the game, because they have such great questions, man. I know when I was starting off about almost 8 years ago, October 10th will be my 8th year. I'll be renewing for my 3rd commission. There wasn't that many people that were willing to help. For some reason, a lot of notaries kept a lot of the information to themselves. They didn't want to share any knowledge, and I knew where it came from. It came from a scarcity mindset. They felt like, hey, if this new guy comes in, the clients that I would have gotten, he's probably going to start snatching them up. It came from a very, very scarcity mindset. Not cool. So what happened was I did wind up getting a lot of those deals, but I would break bread with the other fellow notaries. So they had it all wrong. I wish it wasn't like that, but it was like that. But today, I try to change the narrative a little bit. I try to change the narrative to the point where we are sharing information. We are, giving great advice and like, hey, I want you to succeed. I want you to do well. Heck, I want you to do better than I am. I have notaries in my community that do way better than I've ever done. Do way better numbers than I've ever done. Do I get salty? Am I going to be the Morton salt chick with the umbrella? That salty bitch? No, I'm not going to be her. I'm going to be the congratulator. Why wouldn't I congratulate you? Why wouldn't I be happy for you? You heard? So shout out to everybody that's really out there helping grow this notary business, y'all. Let me pull up these slides. Again, you guys share your thoughts, share your comments. Love to hear from you. Let me pull up these slides. And then we're going to go into why 90% of notaries are losing money and how to stop the bleeding. My brother Tech started off today earlier. I was unable to do it. So, of course, the show must go on. And he held it down. And then now it's part 2. So let me go to Canva, pull this up, and then give you guys this fire presentation. Flame, yoga flame. Go back here. And here we go. Oh, snap. Got my brother Tech in the building. Double bubble. Yeah. What up, dog? Welcome, Tech, ladies and gentlemen.
Just eating my greens, man. Just eating my salad.
I'm glad you was able to join, brother.
Yeah, I'm still choking on sunflower seeds.
Yeah. Drink some water, bro. Drink some water. Let me pull up these slides for the people.
I just got a call for a loan doc.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was panicked.
He was in panic mode?
He was in panic mode. What do you call it? The bleeding neck syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I need you to go right now.
I love those. I love them. Those are what I would call a lay down.
Mm-hmm. So the listeners might be wondering, well, what did you do, Tech? How'd you handle it? And I'm glad you asked, because this is the situation where many people talk themselves out of business. Am I right? They sound panic. All of a sudden, now you're panic. Don't let you be desperate. You haven't had a signing in a couple of days, getting a little slow. Oh, don't let them hear that you're thirsty. You lose all the leverage. So like you say, like you preach, you've been saying this for years. And I'm glad that people are finally starting to catch on to this. But you've been saying this for years. Separate yourself from the business. If they know that you are the notary, then the conversation dynamics completely change. If they just speaking to a front office worker, sales representative, customer service, that's a whole different conversation, right?
Absolutely.
So the question, why 90% of notaries are losing money and don't even know it? Well, that's one of the reasons when they answer the phone, if they even answer the phone, right? So let's just assume that they actually answer the phone. And now they're speaking in first person. I. Yes, I'm available. Hey, are you available tonight? Like right now, we need a loan doc. Yes, I'm available. Yeah, we got a client in Houston, Miami, Philadelphia, Jacksonville, whatever city, and they need their loan application to be signed. Okay, I can do that. Okay, would you be able to, scan the documents back? Sure, I can do that. Right? You see the pattern? And you may not even be aware of this, but by you saying I, you're losing more and more and more ground. So first thing, eliminate that word I. Get that out of your vocabulary. What do you replace it with? We, us. You can still use the same, yes, we can do that. Yes, we can help you. I'm sure we can do that. Right? So in doing so, like I did in the situation, that person is panicked. But that slows them down. And now you can regain control of that conversation. And also, it comes back to the question where notaries get freezed. right? They get frozen, which is the question of, well, how much do you charge? How much do you charge? Right? Because how much do you charge? Because I know I'm speaking to the person, right? Versus how much do you all charge? The whole dynamics change. Now all of a sudden you're in a position where, like you say, it's not on you. Well, that's what the company charges. That's the price. That's what you can still negotiate. Yes, I have the freedom to negotiate, thankfully, because I am, the office manager. I'm the global assistant for this multi-billion-dollar conglomerate notary business. But I do have the freedom to negotiate. But instead of saying, what do you charge? Now it sounds like, all right, I'm making up the price. I'm the person coming up with the pricing if it's just me. You put that in contrast to a big company, now it's just like, no, this is what the company charges. So by just removing that one word, Tiger, that one word, it completely changes the whole dynamic of a whole conversation. And it could, to me, when I read that in the Rise of the Smart Notary, I'm telling you, man, that was revolutionary.
Shout out to God spearheading that book, because I know I was on Casamigos tequila, smoked a couple of blunts. I zoned the hell out in that book, Tech. I zoned out. I said, if this is gonna be my first and last book, it's gonna be like New Orleans gumbo in this joint.
Yeah, jambalaya.
I put Bob Marley mixtape in one of the pages, bro. I really did not care what notaries thought of me at that point. It was a purge for me. But I appreciate you guys for purchasing that book like you did, because it did hit a #1 bestseller. You know how many copies you gotta sell to be a #1 bestseller? Not only that, you know how many copies you gotta sell to be a #1 bestseller during pre-order, bro? That's why I have not and will not turn my back on this notary industry. You guys supported me out the gate. So therefore I must show love. Now, I appreciate you, bro. You always bring up the book, man, and yeah, that book was a labor of love for sure. If you guys are looking for that book, go to Amazon.com and type in Rise of the Smart Notary. That's it. Rise of the Smart Notary. That book will change your life. So, yeah, Tech, we're gonna go into this. You're gonna, hey, did you go over yeah, you went over on part 1, right? With the 15 notaries that you reached out to?
Yeah, I did. I revealed the campaign video.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So let's go into this, and then of course, bro, chime in at any time for this. We'll get it cracking. So why 90% of notaries are losing money and don't even know it? So the big lie is start your notary business and the money will just flow in. Just get your commission and your journal, and somehow the universe will move clients towards you and your phone will ring off the hook without you put any type of effort. Spoiler alert, that's not how it works. So let's break it down. Why so many notaries are struggling silently. So this is the common belief, right? Versus reality. The belief is, if I get certified and listed, the clients will come. Reality, most notaries are over relying on saturated platforms. Don't need to mention those platforms. You guys will probably notice that they're saturated because they'll be There'll be pages and pages and pages and pages of them. So you have to ask yourself, how do I get myself on page 1 and not on page 90?
Wow.
Fact is, over 90% never build their own brand or lead pipeline. Tech, what do you say?
The belief, if I get certified and listed, then the clients will come. I'm guilty of that. Yeah, I'm guilty of that, man. I shared this story in the Thumbtack for Notaries book where I remember when I first got my commission, I thought that Cam Combs, shout out to Cam Combs, because I had known her from the Notary Business School, and she was from Oakland, and I had a conversation with her. She congratulated me and everything, and she said, are you ready? And I said, yeah. She said, okay, I got one for you today. And she says, since I'm moving, I don't want to put her business out there, but she said, well, since I'm planning on moving, but I'm still keep the business going. And since she's going to be moving to, about 2 hours north of here. And she said, because now that you're here, I don't have to drive back down. I can still run the business remotely. I can still build something 2 hours north and still have my clientele base here. I thought, Tiger, ready for this, Tiger? I thought Cam was going to give me all of her business. True story, man. I sat there and I thought that I said, okay, it's on and popping now.
Now, why did you assume that, though?
Bro, why did I assume that?
Yeah.
Man.
I want to know your thought process on why did you think she would just give you the boat?
Because she was just that cool. And I was that cool.
Okay.
But looking back, here's the thing. After about maybe 2 weeks, I kid you not, about 2 weeks, I remember this very distinctly. It was a hot day, and I said, I'm not getting no leads. I'm not, she hasn't called me. Like, what happened? I'm asking myself, like, what happened? How come she not calling me? And then it hit me. What? Who am I to expect this person just to give me all of her business? What kind of crazy? And I said, no. I got to go out there and get the business. What? How? That was. It was just completely ignorant of me. I didn't understand, but that's what a lot of people do initially, right out the gate. They sign up. Hey, I'm a notary. Everybody knows. They should be blowing up my phone. And I couldn't be further from the truth.
Damn. Okay, so what did you decide to do after you came to that realization?
Thumbtack. That's how I got. I shared this story. This is in the opening chapters of Thumbtack for Notaries book. I shared that exact story. So that's how I was driving Lyft at the time, and driving Lyft in the morning, and then while I was on the road, I would just do notary appointments. I was already out there, so I figured I wasn't too far away. I'm already on the road, and then I would just cut out and jet to a notary appointment. I happened to pick up a Thumbtack employee one morning, and he was headed over to the office in San Francisco. And he asked me, me, I'm talking, me. And he told me, hey, have you ever heard of Thumbtack? And I said, no. He said, you should check it out. And so when he told me about that, I looked it up and I said, okay, I'm not putting my name on these listings and these directories anymore. Enough of that. It wasn't generating anything, but when I put my name on Thumbtack, it was popping.
I wonder how many other notaries assume that role. Like if they landed a corporate client, right? And they landed, let's just say, this title or escrow company, and they're like, oh, I'm in. They're about to give me all their work. But really, you're the backup to the backup, right? And so they start to plan things around that, but it's not what they think it is. Because if you thought it, somebody else has thought that as well. just in a different situation or a different state. I landed 3 companies. They said they would use me. They used me once, and then they may not ever use them again. You land you've done work for a nursing home. You talk to the director. You guys, had a couple of laughs and had a cup of coffee together, and you think that you are locked in. You're the primo steamo, and you don't hear from them for a good year.
Man, I know people are thinking like that. Oh, just because they handed out their business cards to some social worker at a nursing home, and the social worker promised them, "Oh yeah, we need notary all the time. We'll definitely be calling you." And then they go on social media and brag. Look. I just came back from a nursing home. They said that they're looking for a preferred notary. You ever heard that word? A preferred notary.
Yep. Heard of it a lot.
But did you get the client? Did you book the appointment? And no, not yet. Not yet.
Leads coming in. That's the thing.
That's another.
It's one thing they agreed to you, but how often are they really feeding you those leads? And let me also put this out. Do you pump the brakes, or do you stop once you say, "Oh, I got one"? Because there are people like that. There are people that will go out there, they'll get on their grind, their hustle, they'll land a corporate contract, and then they double stomp on the brakes. They don't continue to do what they were doing to get more of these clients. They stomp on the brakes, come to a screeching halt, and then they wait for that one client to feed them all of this work. And then the client was like, "No, we'll call you. Don't call us. We'll call you when we have something available for you."
Yeah, which goes
I'm bouncing that ball over here.
Which goes against the myth that you should be following up with people every week. You should be visiting their office at least once a week. "Hey man, I'm still here. Hey guys, I'm just dropping off some goodie bags. I'm still here. If you need me," right? Like you said, you're the backup to the backup to the backup.
Mm-hmm. Let's go on to the next slide.
That's a great one, man.
So you'll like this one, Tech. The hidden costs that are eating your profits. Let's just start off with a good $200, man. Let's say you got a $200 lead. Let's look at some of the things that are eating away from your profit. You're gonna have to get some fuel. If you don't have fuel already, you're gonna have to get some fuel for the vehicle. So you're gonna calculate your travel expenses. Now, there are a lot of notaries that are using different platforms. Maybe you're using Calendly. Maybe you're using Sabrina. Maybe you're part of a NNA membership. Maybe you're using SnapDocs where they take a certain commission fee, or maybe you're getting from a signing service, and commission cuts. Let's not forget that. Not only do you have platform fees, but you have commission cuts. I've sat in on a couple of those phone calls, Tech. "Hey, you know what? Since we've been giving you so much work, we wonder if you could go from 75 to 65. And then I can assure that we can give you even more work and bump you up the list."
Oh.
But in order to do that, you just have to kind of like fall into the budget that we're looking for right now. So you're gonna make more money, but it'll be, and you'll get more appointments, but you'll just have to give us more of a price break. Has that ever happened to you?
Are you able to do that?
Have they ever tried to get you to go down on your price?
Yes.
Yes. So those things cut in on your profit margin. And then your platform fees, whether you're using a RON platform, that like those things happen. I can tell you right now, the people that used to use notarize.com in the earliest stages, they're not getting paid what they used to get paid back then now. It's been a
No doubt.
huge commission cut on that. Okay, another thing that's hidden cost that's eating your profits. Every call you miss. Every call you miss. You ain't get no bread. Those are missed opportunities.
Easy.
And then the most valuable one of them all is time lost doing administrative tasks manually. You'll never get your time back. You can always make the money. But that time, gone. You know that time, those time-consuming things, those yellow, blue, and neon post-its that you're putting on these documents. The travel time from one location to another location. Those scan backs. We'll go into the next one because it'll go a little bit deeper into what is actually eating your cost. But did you want to add anything to this, Tech?
Yeah, the time lost doing the administrative tasks manually, that's always the one that it creeps up on you. It's scary because you can't really quantify it. You don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why this is appropriately called the hidden costs. You don't see the time that you lose doing those administrative tasks, and that's why you don't really quantify it, or maybe it could easily be like an oversight.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and then the missed calls. That's me. The missed calls is always the big one. Like I love explaining that you pay for every time your phone rings.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. Just in case you didn't know that, if you missed a call, then you really paid for it. Let's just give you the benefit of the doubt and say you did answer it. Well, at least you gave yourself a shot. You got to at least give yourself a chance to be in the game in order to really even try to land a client. Now, like you say, the client has 3 options. They could hire you, number 1. Secondly, they cannot hire you. And then number 3, they don't have to do anything.
Right.
Right. So, but at least if you answer the call, not only did you save $8 on average, you've saved it, but you've also given yourself a chance to actually land a client. But if you just miss it altogether, then you're operating from the red. You're already in the negative.
Yeah, man. I don't think you want that. I don't think you want that.
Yeah.
So it's continued, right? Hidden costs eating your profits continued. Now a lot of notaries start off in the red. How do they start off in the red? Like when I entered this business, I knew how much money I had put out because I wanted to see what my break-even point was going to be. So if I had invested $500 into this notary business, I'm like, okay, well, how many notarizations I have to do for me to break even? And then from that point, what do I make profit from? So, and I didn't go into the loan signing side. If I went into the loan signing side, this is what I would have been looking at when it comes to the supplies, right? Let's blow that out. The supplies, I'm buying reams of paper, bro. Cartons with reams of paper in it. I'm buying ink. Now, at one time, the printer of choice was a Brother printer, which was like damn near $400 to $600. That's what every loan signing agent was pushing. It was pushing the hell out of that printer. I believe there a lot of them were affiliates for Amazon, and they would push it so they could get a goddamn commission off of it. I ain't knocking the hustle. Do your thing. Then not only do they get the printer, they get the fast action bullet scanner. I don't even know how much that is. And it'll be the portable joint. Right? I've seen people buy converters. They put the converter in the trunk of their vehicle.
Oh my God.
And they're running an entire Kinko's FedEx office out of their trunk, bro.
Real talk.
Shout out to you niggas that have that type of dedication. I saw a woman bought a Sprinter van. You heard?
Word up.
He bought a Sprinter van and turned the entire interior Sprinter into an office. You can walk in there, sit down, have a cup of coffee, print out your documents right there on the spot, scan it, email it. Who knows what else? She had bro. I've never seen nothing like it. I was like, I just don't have that type of dedication.
Man, it's impressive. People were going hard with the mobile offices.
Bro. Oh, I am not faulting that lady for doing that. Just her mindset of just being an enterprise like that, I respected. I respected to the utmost. The fact that someone will say, I am going to convert my trunk into a portable office, I respect that highly. I may laugh at it, but I respect it though. Because that's dedication. That's being creative. That's stepping outside the box and saying, don't worry about going to an office. I'm going to bring the office to you. And I'm going to provide the highest level of convenience for my customers. I'm going to be between appointments and you're going to email me something. And when I pull up to your driveway, I will print it out right in front of you. You'll sign it right there. I'm not turning down no money. Shout out to y'all.
So in some ways, do you think it's more, it gives them a benefit of being more effective in executing an appointment because they
efficient.
Because they have a scanner and they have a table already in their mobile office? You think it makes them quicker? You think it makes them more
not scalable?
Definitely not scalable.
They're very efficient as a one-man show.
Yes.
They're extremely efficient as a one-man show. Now, of course, if you're thinking scale and you're thinking agency, you will actually repel that and go the opposite way. Be like, I'm not going to get that. What can I do to fulfill more assignments?
Yes.
Their frame of mind of thinking is, how can I fulfill more assignments? Well, I'm going to have to be more efficient at what I do. Therefore, I'm going to purchase printers, scanners, converters, and then put those laptops, put it into my vehicle, and then I can now have a mobile office. Very efficient if you're a one-man show. But if you are looking for scale, that is not the best move for you.
Yeah, did you guys catch that? That's a very subtle difference there. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, I hope y'all caught that because that was a
monster kill.
No, there is a very subtle difference there. On one hand, you have outfitted your vehicle to become more efficient in serving that one person. Then I can understand the thinking is that a title company will probably hire me because I can scan documents right there on the spot. If there's an issue, I can print right there from the spot. I got Wi-Fi, I got the power inverter, I got the printer. But what Tiger is suggesting, what you're suggesting, Tiger, is that yeah, you can do that for that one person in that one moment at that one time versus becoming more efficient at serving more people, meaning I can take more phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
I can outsource or I could, delegate more people to go out and serve more people. I can cast a wider net, and therefore I become more efficient. It's just two ends of the scale, don't you think?
Yeah, it's like Meek Mill said, there's levels to this shit, bro. There's levels to it, man. Like a one-man show, if you're going to be a one-man show, I would expect you to be the most efficient, most effective one-man show you possibly could be. What would that look like? Like if you told me, Tech, I am going to be a one-man show and I'm going to run these numbers up. And I ask you, how are you going to do that? You're running 3 appointments a day. How many appointments you're trying to run? You say, I want to be able to run 10. That's a fantastic goal. So then you have to ask yourself, what setup would I need? What strategy would I need? What business model would I need to be able to run 10 appointments effectively and efficiently as possible by myself? And
Yes.
to me, that is the most, being a one-man show, keeping all the money for yourself, that is the most effective way of doing it, the way they would do it. Because now you don't have, you cut your time in half because you no longer have to go home.
Yes.
Print out the documents, scan them, go back to another appointment, then go back to home just to scan those, then you're doing all of this work in 3 different places, right? You're traveling to the client's home to do all of this business. Then you have to go back home to do all of the scan backs. Then you have to go through your 3rd location to do all the FedEx offices, FedEx overnight. 3 locations. So you compress it.
Yeah, put everything in one location. So
I'm going to eliminate a location.
Yes.
They can't do nothing about the FedEx office, though.
No.
They can't do nothing about FedEx overnight. So that location is static. It's stationary. They ain't going nowhere. Unless you have them come pick it up from your house.
Yeah.
But that's a very efficient way.
I once heard a longtime paralegal / long-signing agent. He said that he hired this is before pandemic. This is like 2007, 2006, 2012, 2013, when the economy was rebounding from the great debacle. He said something interesting. He said, there wasn't very many loan signing agents around that time, and we were getting paid $300, $250 a pop. And then he says, I hired an assistant to come meet me at the location, pick up the docs, and then go drop them off. So it was a 2-man operation.
Mm-hmm.
He would just sign, stamp, and then he had his assistant communicate with title company, print documents, meet him at the next location, and then go drop them off. I thought that to me was I thought that was creative.
Yeah.
But now you got to pay somebody. You got to pay this extra person now. So as we talked about our topic, cut into profits.
That's exactly right. Yeah, not that wasn't my cup of tea. I wasn't gonna do that. I wanted to scale on after 3 appointments, Tech, I was fried, bro. I was fried. I had no interest and no desire to run 10 appointments in a day because I know it wasn't sustainable for me. I couldn't keep that up very long. And what happens is, one of the things that you guys have to keep in mind is when you become a thorough notary and you become very, very good, you have mastered the art of working with clients and, notarizing the documents and, handling your affairs correctly, you become, you'll go to another level. And by going to that another level, that means that you become high demand. And when you become high demand, that means all of these companies want you. And if all of those companies want you, you start to become unavailable for other work.
Great point.
That's why tech had a hard time finding notaries, is because the good ones were snatched up already.
True.
So for those that really think that this business is saturated, no. It takes one company to snatch you up, and they'll give you enough work, more work than you can handle. Now you're off the market. It's like you're in a committed relationship. You're off the market now.
That's a good point. I'm taking.
You're taking. I have no time. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, so you're going to go into the scanners, etc. Maintenance. The maintenance is pretty light with the notary business, man. Occasional tires, tire rotation, oil change. Nothing crazy, nothing major. But it depends on how much you're really, if your car is a workhorse and you're running the thing, of course you're going to have a lot more maintenance problems. But for the most part, tires and oil change, right? Now miscellaneous, this is a doozy. As you guys can see, it's the longest list of them all. These are some of the things that you need to consider when you are landing that contract, or you landed that appointment. What's going to start eroding from your profit? One thing that doesn't get calculated often is paid parking. You may have to go to the hospital downtown, and most hospitals downtown, you have to pay for parking.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the street or in their parking garage. Heck, you pay in their parking garage, you're spending $14, $15 for like 30 minutes. And it better not be a long document, because then you're going to, even with validation, you're going to wind up spending like $30. So you need to factor that into your costs beforehand. The next one, if you're driving out to the, a different area, outside of your designated area, and you have to pay tolls, who's going to pay for the tolls? Have you guys considered that? So tolls start to erode your profits. Now, if you're using Stripe, PayPal, any of these credit card processing vehicles, they hit you with processing fees. Who's going to pay for the extra 3%? Heck, I went to a grocery store the other day, Tech, and they let you, they put a sign on their bulletproof window. Yo, if you buy anything less than $10, we hitting you with a 3% credit card fee. So pay in cash.
Damn, is that legal?
Do they care? That's the question.
Yeah, right.
They don't care, bro. So the processing fee, that's something that you may want to factor in. That's why I don't respect doing notarizations for cheap, because there's a lot of cost involved in it. I hate seeing people walk away from the notary assignment pissed off, and they're kicking rocks and shit. They kick the neighbor's cat because they didn't charge enough, and they're upset. And then if they made a mistake on the document and they have to go back to the customer's house at no additional charge, they're really pissed off.
Oh yeah.
Come on, factor that in. Delayed payment. Now, I say this goes more for title and escrow companies. They're the ones that have y'all niggas waiting 4 to 6 weeks and shit for a check. Title and escrow companies are the ones that have you guys waiting 4 to 6 weeks for a check.
Ain't nobody ain't got time for that.
Wow.
I ain't going. But guess what? Within those 4 to 6 weeks, those bills are still piling up. ComEd is still coming for their cheese. Your T-Mobile bill is still due. Yeah. You still got to eat. You still got to put fuel for your next appointment while you're waiting on that check. That time, just like anything else, is like inflation. And then by the time you do get that $178 for that loan signing that you did 3 months ago, it don't hit right.
No.
Then you got software, if you're using any type of software, subscriptions, right? We was talking about like NNA subscriptions and stuff like that. If you belong to any of these, notary mastermind groups and stuff like that, you have to consider those. Why not?
Lincoln Bayou. What about those?
Yeah,
you pay for those.
You're valid. Yeah, those. If you're paying to have your profile have a blue check mark because you believe that it will bring you more business and you could reach more people. Look, man, I'm just pointing out some things that you may consider so you know what your break-even point is. Once you get over your break-even point and you start getting some good money coming in, you know what your price is supposed to be. And then I guarantee you're not going to feel comfortable doing notarizations for $50.
Yeah.
It's going to look different. Website hosting tech, you're paying on that every month. Business email, your Microsoft Outlook, yeah. You're either paying for that for the entire year or you paying for that every month. Oh, let's not forget the business phone. You're paying on that every month. Tech, you want to add?
I'm just going to use Google Voice from now on. This is getting expensive. No, but seriously, that's what people, they end up defaulting toward free. Oh, I'm not paying for nothing. I've already invested too much money into this business. But as we all know, they're not talking about a business. They're not. Because a business, by definition, would not require them to be there. But, that's neither here nor there. But they start, like, gravitating toward free. What's free or what's cheap? What can I get for free? And they start measuring its effectiveness by how much it costs or how much they're saving. Listen, man, I understand it can get real tight. And I respect that people, that's why I always tell people, or I make it a point that you have to use this filter. When you're getting this information on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, there's people who can get on these social media platforms and they can say anything. But how do you know what they're saying is of value to what you are doing? Well, because they're only charging $3.99 for their course. I'm not talking about $300. I'm talking about $3.99. Okay, I'm going to take their notary course or their notary training because it's only $50. If they give you all incorrect, out of date, inaccurate information, did you really save? Was it really worth it? Versus you buy my course, which is $2,600. Yes, my course is $2,600. Why? Because you'll make that back within the first month or within the second month, depending on what you currently have. You may already have a website, you may already have a phone, you may already have a reliable vehicle, you may already have hosting, you may already have email automations, you may already have some things in place. Well, some people think that's too expensive. Oh, okay, well, if it made you $70,000, then was it really that expensive? So you got to be very cognizant of the information that's out there. There's people who can get on TikTok and say anything.
Anything.
And then you like it. And then you share it. But this information hasn't been vetted. They haven't tried it themselves. They're just throwing out suggestions for likes and views. And then they're just trapping you, really. They're giving you, like, this is how to avoid a trap. That's really what we're talking about. How do you avoid the trap and the pitfalls that you didn't see coming? You probably didn't see the fact that you have to spend money on gas. It seems obvious, but at the same time, well, where could that money be better spent? Let's say you didn't even have a car. Could you still be a notary? Yeah, well, you're probably going to be a Ron. But let's say that if you didn't even want to be a Ron, let's say you wanted to just be a call center, you just wanted to dispatch. Well, where could that money be better spent? Google Ads. You then secure clients. You dispatch people out.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can take that whole miscellaneous list and you can consolidate that into one with a platform like Sabrina. I'm just saying. So where's your money better spent? Where are you being most efficient? How are you getting the most value for your dollar? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Don't get me fired up, man. I'm going to start taking detours and derailing this whole thing, but let's continue on. I just care, man. I care. I just know that, man, I almost fell for some of those tricks. And, I'm just happy that I did.
Tech, I think you'll like this one. So the 3 silent business killers. Invisibility. You're invisible. Oh, no marketing, no branding presence, nothing, no social media. I don't like Instagram. Like Instagram and your business don't care if you like them or not. Are you visible? I don't like doing Google ads. Your business and your clients don't care that you don't like Google ads. I can't find you. You're invisible to me. 2, inconsistency. Terrible follow-up. You see the call come in, you're busy, it goes straight to voicemail, and you're like, I'll check it tomorrow. I don't feel like doing nothing. I'm going to see the movie Sinners. Shout out to Sinners!
Have you seen it?
Not yet, but I am going to, though. Shout out to that movie. But you're invisible, you're inconsistent. You don't even follow up with them. You have no CRM, no system whatsoever. You're just out here. And you're like, if I catch a phone call, I catch a phone call. If I don't, I don't. And you're treating it like it's not even a business at all. It's just whatever. Man, this is people's livelihoods are going through your, passing over your desk. People are getting very, very expensive things transferring through a piece of paper at 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, a legal size piece of paper. There's properties just flowing past you. There's money just like going like this, like a wave. And the heaviest thing you have to lift is a damn stamp and a pen. And your phone. Ladies and gentlemen, notary business is one of the most lucrative, easiest businesses you can get into. You know what a hard business is? Construction.
Yeah.
Go lift the center block of that shit.
For 8 hours.
And see how you feel. Go wear some hot ass construction boots all damn day. Walking on uneven pavement in the hot sweltering sun. Laying down black tar on expressways.
You gotta dodge SUVs and motorcycles.
Yeah, bro, that's hard work. All you guys have to do is answer the phone, be courteous, get the call script, answer the phone, book the appointment, bring a pen and a stamp. You could even drive your car with one hand. That's how light work that is. This is light work, y'all. Nobody's asking you to pick up the Coca-Cola liquid to put in so people can get some refreshments. When you applied to be a notary, it didn't say, can you lift more than 50 pounds in order to qualify for this job? This is a smart sport. And inefficiency, the last one. You still answering every call manually, dude. I mean, like we could play the Sabrina thing all day on this one. But you're inefficient. You got one call coming in. Another call is boop, 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 boop. How many calls can you take? You just lost the deal.
Yes, that easy.
You're at an appointment's house. You're notarizing document. Bring, bring. You're engaged. You're in the moment with the client. What are you going to do? You got to stop and take a sales call right in front of the client? Some of you guys will do that, right?
Yes. Yeah, and don't lie.
Will do it. I'm not one of them cats to do it because I'd be like, oh, well, yeah, I would love to hear the story one day of a person doing a loan signing and they paid for it. And then they give a quote for a loan signing and it's cheaper than what the customer actually paid for.
Oh,
I'd love to see how that phone call ends. You're like, wait, you just said that you would do it for $150. You charged me $250 for the same loan signing document. Oh, that was different. Yeah. Put on the boxing gloves. Put on the boxing gloves because your client's gonna want to take you in the backyard and box you up. They're gonna want put them paws on.
All right, that tune there. Nobody know with that tune.
You want to hear something wild?
Yeah.
I once took a sales call in front of a client because he wanted to be a notary. And I wanted to demonstrate to him how easy it was. So I did take a sales call in front of him knowingly. And I did give out a price. And this guy, I think he was like what do you call those people who work at the docks? Like a longshoreman or something like that?
Yeah.
And he was on his day off and he needed a power of attorney signed. And he was saying, man, I'm thinking about doing this, man. Is it good? I was like, yeah, I like it. I said, I'll show you. I took a sales call right in front of him. That's different, though. That's not
that's different. Those are the sales call. That was more of a consultation. But yeah, now I don't think most customers mind because they know that you're running a business and stuff like that. But that's just my shtick, selling windows. I learned that certain things you just don't do. Now those are more higher ticket items, right? You don't want two things you don't want. You don't want to get a customer service complaint call, and you technically don't want to take a sales call. So you're like, hey, you messed up on my document. And then your client is hearing that. You're like, when you gonna come back out? Because now I can't get access to the money. And now your client is hearing all of that.
Yeah, that's a big fear.
Like, would you answer a customer complaint call in front of your client?
Oh no, we gotta call the office or send us an email.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like I just don't answer my phone at all unless it's the wife. Like, hold on, it's the wifey. She probably wants me to bring back some food.
Some Chick-fil-A.
All right, so let's go to the you guys know already, man. We're not gonna give you any show you any of these challenges without giving you some quick fix plays for you to solve these problems immediately. So here's a quick fix checklist. You want to track your expenses weekly. It doesn't take a lot of effort for you to track your expenses. At least you know where you're at with this, and you immediately will know if you're undercharging and you would like to increase your profit margin. Like for me, Tech, I would always reanalyze my profit margin every single month. So I would I want to get my profits up a little bit more. It wouldn't be crazy, but it would be like, oh, my average sale is this. I want to get it to this. I want to get more sales, but less appointments. That was my philosophy, right? Like, I want to run less appointments, but make more money. How do I do that? And then it was, and then I would strategize and figure that shit out. And that was before AI. Now I got AI. Oh, I am deadly as shit. You want to track your expenses weekly. Calculate your cost per appointment. You do that well, Tech. You do that damn near with everybody that's part of our membership and cohort.
Yeah, the track your expenses weekly is a good one, and it doesn't have to be very intricate. And here's the cool thing. And listen, I already know there's going to be some people who don't do this. They're just not going to track their expenses weekly. They should. And I don't even like saying that word should a lot. But here's one thing that is going to happen that is kind of like another benefit of when you track your expenses. Here's what's going to happen. When you do it by day, you're going to realize that some days are more expensive than other days.
Yeah.
That's one thing. When you start seeing that data, you start seeing this trend, you're like, oh, after about a month, 2-3 months, you realize, oh, damn, Wednesdays, for some reason, why are Wednesdays so expensive? Why do I seem to be spending more money on Thursdays? And then you start seeing, what are some habits that you're doing? Well, that's because on the night before, I usually stay up really late. Or that's because on every second or fourth week of the month, I'm already out on the road, and you should start picking up these little trends when you track your expenses. It accomplishes a lot of multiple things, and that's one that I picked up on. I started realizing certain days were more expensive than others.
Yeah. Set up a call answering system like Sabrina AI. I think you guys watch enough of these shows to know what Sabrina AI does, but just in case you're new to the show, Sabrina AI is the latest software that Tech and I have created that will answer the phone calls for you. She will book your appointments, process payment, and then it gives you the freedom for you to just worry about the fulfillment, whether you're going to run the appointments or not, and you decide that you want to concentrate more on growing your business. So she answers books for you to grow. The next one is claim and optimize your Google business profile. Now, I know there are some people that have not executed on the Google business profile. That should be one of the first things you do. Don't think about creating an LLC. Don't worry about creating business cards and brochures. Get your Google business profile up and running now. Start getting phone calls right now.
Bro, if I hear another person talk about an LLC, man, I'm going to flip.
Yep. They do, though. They do. Get that done. Put that in process now. It wasn't as easy when I did it 8 years ago. That's why I was able to run the gambit that I did. Now they're a little bit tighter with their and have a little more guidelines. So get that going and get it out the way early, and then start getting, these phone calls. If you guys don't have the call script, I got to figure out. I'll probably put a link in for you guys to get the call script.
Are you going to give it away?
Matter of fact, get the book. Thanks, Tech.
I'm just saying, man, are you going to give away the call strip for free? I'm just curious.
I was thinking about it, but I don't like giving shit away for free like that.
Yeah, I heard
I'm
that.
already giving out 3 things for free in the description. You guys already got 3 free gifts from me. Just go to the description on the YouTube channel and you got free gifts already. But if you guys want the call script, go to Amazon, cop that book. It's only, I think, $29.99. It'll pay itself in dividend.
Yes, yeah, that's the gift that keeps giving.
Smart Notary.
Yes.
Rise of the Smart Notary. That is the name of my best-selling book. Go get that book. Create bundle service packages. Like I like to do. I created this thing called the POA party, where you get multiple family members, with whether it's mother, father, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, grandparents. We get everybody together. We create this power of attorney party. I get a nice lump sum of money. I'm not traveling to multiple locations. Everybody meet at a designated location. I'm stamping and signing, stamping and signing, stamping and signing, and you'll walk away with like a G. Easy. So you can calculate those things with a POA plus, whatever travel arrangement. Book a private demo to see Sabrina, to see if we can have Sabrina help you. We can't help everybody, as Tech would say. We would love to, but we can't. So the best way to do that is for you to book a private demo with us. I'm gonna put the banner up there. Book a private demo. And then the last one will be collect reviews and testimonials weekly. If you're getting enough clients like that. Now, if you don't think it's going to be 4 stars or 5 stars, don't ask for a review.
Yes.
If you know that you did shabby work, and on the other line, they say, this person had the nerve to ask me for a review. Oh, I'll review you, all right.
Oh my God, that's a nightmare.
You'll be looking for one of them big ass elementary school erasers trying to erase that shit off your You would be pissed.
Is there anything worse than a 4-star review?
I had probably one of the worst reviews, man. It was so bad. I had to shut down the Google business for a while.
Yeah.
I said, I can't let this fly, man. I shut down the entire profile. It was so bad. It was really, really bad. I was going through something. I had just lost my cousin. He had just passed away. I don't know what made me take that call, because I was already lit on Hennessy. Because it was a repass, right? So I wasn't even in my right mind, bro. And I closed the deal. I committed to it. I knew I was gonna wake up with a hangover, and completely skipped the appointment. No call back, no nothing. And I kid you not, that person did not hesitate to go on the Google business listing and fire off on me, man. I'm talking about they went off, Tech.
Oh man.
Bullet holes everywhere, bro.
Damn, even the parking meter got it.
Pure accuracy, bro. And I was like, that's my fault. I'm gonna own that. You are right. I apologize. I even offered to do it for free, bro. I said, because I'm not the type of person that's gonna, has to, well, it wasn't my fault, or blame somebody else. No, I owned it. And I said, you know what? I'm so sorry. We'll come out and notarize your documents for free. She was like, don't even bother.
She didn't want you to do it for free. Damn.
Didn't want nothing to do with us at that point. And it was something pressing that they needed. And it was just a bad situation. And I dropped the ball big time. So that was that. The bad reviews, man. Do everything in your power to be top notch, world class. If you can't do it, if you can't perform at a high level on that, leave the appointment alone. Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else do it. It ain't even worth it. One nasty review like that can make at least 20 to 30 of your great reviews look like shit.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Man, if you think, I think you said it right. If you think you're gonna get anything less than a 5-star, don't even bother, man.
Yeah.
It don't matter how many reviews you have. Some people complain, I only have 13 reviews. Is that the reason why people are not calling me? I'm like, no. I mean, it could be, but likely not. You just need, it doesn't matter if you have 13 or 1,300 reviews. As long as they're all 5 stars, you're good, man. Don't even trip.
You know what's funny too? People that leave bad reviews, they write essays, bro.
That's right.
People that leave you good reviews, they'll leave you 2 lines. They were great. They were on time.
5 stars.
5 stars. People that leave bad reviews, they write fucking Dean Koontz novels, bro. It was a dark and stormy night. Me and my grandmother was waiting by the window for this notary.
It's all detailed. Yeah.
Like, so, man, the cat died that day. Like, this shit is crazy. And they will pull you out like, this shit is damn near masterful. I can't do it. I can't compete with this. I let it fly. I let it fly, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, book your demo. Book your demo. Book your demo. Let's go to the next page real quick. That's funny. So here's how Sabrina can stop the bleeding, you guys. She captures your missed calls. So no more lost clients. I'm literally telling you that every single call that comes through, she's grabbing all of them. So you have a much, much bigger net. You're catching all the fish. Now, do you close all the fish? That's a different story. That's conversion. That's different, right? But you don't miss any opportunities, though. Not on the phone call tip. Sabrina will also do what we have, smart scheduling, which equals time efficiency. She will book your appointments and she will process the payment so you get paid up front and not after you get to the location and then be in that awkward moment. Well, how do you want to pay?
Yeah.
Ugh, I hate that feeling.
Well, you told me it was only $3. I said 300.
What card do you want? Do you know, like you're putting yourself in a situation for them to say, "I'm not paying you."
Yes.
No, those days are over. You'll have a professional image out the gate. When you come across very professional out the gate, you ensure a higher trust with that client. Be like, I can trust this company. They invested money into themselves. I could tell that they invested money. They sound good. I can trust in this company. And by you winning their trust, you can ask for more money. You can ask for premium pricing, premium fees, and 24/7 lead capture. That means you make money even when you sleep. Ain't no better feeling. I wish everybody could feel that feeling. You wake up and you have appointments booked on your appointment, and your Stripe account had dinged off at least 3 times while you were asleep. You wake up to a nice full calendar. That's what Sabrina could do for you.
Can I add to that last one?
Of course.
Yeah, that 24/7 lead capture. Just check this out, because just in case. I'm gonna drive this point home real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know how there's email addresses on a notary's website, or there might even be a chat bot on their website. Here's a problem with those things. The client, they have no clue when you're going to respond to that. They
That's
they
right.
don't know it's going to be tomorrow, next week. They don't know Monday. But when you have a Sabrina operation where there's a 24/7 smart scheduling in place, then they can get an immediate response, and it says them, yeah, somebody will be back to you within 24 hours, or somebody will be back to you within 2 hours, or or we only check email between the hours of 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. So therefore, somebody will respond to you within that time. But the solution. Think about this. There's constant motion. You want people. It's a courtesy. You want to at least tell people what's happening.
Got walkthrough.
Yeah. Next slide.
So this is your wake up call, you guys. If you're not tracking it, you're leaking. If you're not branding, you're blending.
It's a good one.
If you're not automating, you're drowning. It's time you run your notary business like a real businessman. Book that demo with Sabrina today. Check out our intelligent phone system, our smart scheduling. She's much less expensive than hiring a virtual assistant. Scan that QR code or go to heysabrina.ai. Be more than happy to help you guys out. It's a free demo. I guarantee you, even if you do not purchase, because there's no obligation at all, we don't want you to do something you don't want to do. You may not even be in a position to get Sabrina, but at least we can help you diagnose some of the problems or the challenges that you're experiencing in your business. And we'll do that for free.
Yeah, you may not even qualify for it.
Indeed.
Yeah, so but do people think you're doing this as a favor? Like, if you have a notary business, or you say you have a notary business, and then some people may, on the surface, look at you as, oh yeah, he'll do me a favor, or she'll do me a favor and she'll notarize this. If that's how they're coming off to you, oh, you just do this as a favor, and you don't like that because you certainly don't do it as a favor. You actually have a business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you qualify for it, then you'll be great. Sabrina will be helpful for you. If you may not qualify for it, but at the very least, give it a shot.
Yeah, you only miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take. Hey, Tech, I wanted to start this thing real quick called We Outside, bro.
Yeah, I like it.
We outside, bro. I just have one question. We outside. Let me sound off the horns on that. I have one question. Why is it that when it comes to specialty notary work, notaries tend to follow the employee notary handbook to the letter? I can only charge $15 per notarization. I can only charge $2 per mile. I can only do this. Therefore, these are the prices I must charge for specialty notary work. Also known as, some people, which is a taboo word that we use, general notary work.
Educational purposes only.
Yeah. Why is it that when it comes to general notary work / specialty notary work, you follow the handbook to the letter, but when it comes to loan signings, that shit goes out the window?
Wow.
All of a sudden, those rules don't apply to real estate documents anymore. All of a sudden, you charge $150, $200, $250. Are you not using the same stamp?
Classic question. Legendary question.
Are you using a Mont Blanc pen to do this thing or something? that you can charge that much more. But when it comes to specialty notary work, you're following this to have like let that sink in for a minute, man.
So what you're saying is that if you're closing on a home mortgage or a loan, then I can accept $150 for it. But if you're signing a power of attorney or a passport application, then I can only accept $4 plus $25 for travel.
Exactly.
Why the difference? That's what. Oh wow, legendary.
Don't you guys think there's something wrong with that picture?
Yeah, you got to pump the brakes on that, man. Isn't there a basketball game going on right now? Call timeout.
Yeah.
Call timeout. What's the score?
As they would say back in the day, wash your face, man.
Wash your face.
Wash it.
Get behind your ears, man. Get behind them.
That's just a comment for we outside. You think about that yourself. Tech, do you have some time for Money Corner, brother?
Yes, we do.
Bing bong. Let's do this, man. Yes,
Dirty engineer boy. Circle it. Circle it.
Pull it up. Let's go to the Money Corner stage.
Oh, baby. We got the Money Corner stage. Here we go. Is it coming? Is it coming? There we go right there. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in for today. We're already approaching the 2-hour mark, but I got something important today for the Money Corner. I think this will be really helpful for people who are looking for answers, especially people who get approached by a lot of people or they get inundated with these messages, bombarded with all this financial information, especially on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, have you. So I think this is important to share a process called the DIME method. This is a process that I was introduced to, and the DIME method, for those who have never heard of it, maybe you have, but the DIME method is a process that a financial professional would use to determine how much insurance that you should have. Now, you may be asking, well, why would I need to know something like that? Well, here's the reason why. Because there's so many people that's sharing a lot of information about financial topics, and insurance is certainly one of the biggest ones. Sometimes you can get approached by people who say, well, you, sir, need $2 million of coverage. You, sir, need $1 million of coverage. You need, only $100,000 of coverage. Well, where did that number come from? Is it just arbitrary? You just made it up? Or is that what you did for the last person? And because a lot of financial professionals are erroneously accused of being driven by commissions, well, I want to make sure that you guys are protecting yourselves. So the DIME method is a process that is used that determines how much adequate coverage you should need or you should actually apply for. Therefore, you can protect yourself the next time somebody says, well, you should get X amount. And you say, well, where did that come from? Because according to my calculations, this is probably where I should, this is how much coverage I should need. Now, is it possible to be undercovered? Yes, it is possible. What would be an example of that? Somebody who, let's say, who recently had a child, somebody who recently changed jobs, someone who recently moved, any type of major life event. Maybe someone passed away, you had a family member or a parent or relative pass away, or a dependent. So it's always important to review your policies every year, or maybe every 2 to 3 years, but never more than 5. So let's talk about the DIME method. The DIME method is, the D stands for your debt, and it also stands for your death. So your debt, how much money do you actually owe if you were to, no longer be alive, or if you were to, if you wanted to avoid passing on debt to your spouse or to your child. And then also death. So, in other words, I got a question for you. How much does it cost roughly today to put you in the ground? How much does a typical funeral cost? Do you want to be, I don't know, put into an urn, right? Do you want to be cremated? Do you want to go into the ground? Do you want to be flown back to your homeland? You want to be buried back in the Philippines where your grandparents are from? How much does it cost to put you in the earth, to put you back in the ground at home? So that's what the D stands for, debt and death. So if you never thought about that, now would be a good time to just think about it. You don't have to come up with an answer now. So how much would it cost to put you back into the ground? I stands for income. And that kind of speaks for itself. How much money do you earn? How much money would you like to pass on to your loved ones, your family members, spouse, children? M stands for mortgage. So kind of goes with debt, but um, to be more specific, mortgage is, well, what if you were no longer alive or no longer able to provide the payment for the mortgage in the event that you were no longer to contribute to the household income? Would your family have to move to a smaller house, or would they have to relocate to a different school district because they couldn't afford to stay in their same living situation? And then lastly, education. Do you want your children to go to school? Do you have student loan debt that's unpaid? Again, what do you want to avoid passing on to your loved ones if you were no longer to be alive? And what about if you have young children and you want them to actually have a chance to, maybe attend a very top university? You want to at least give them the opportunity to maybe start a business, or if they didn't want to start a business, they can go to school. And then, you couldn't give them that gift of being able to attend any university that they wanted. And it didn't have to be a private or, state school. It could be any type of training, type of secondary level of education. But if you were unable, if you were not there, you were unable to give them that gift, then you could actually set that up so that now they could at least have that opportunity to get further their education. Okay, so that's called the dime method: debt, death, income, mortgage, and education. So let's do some real numbers. Okay, let's just say you got about $30,000 worth of debt. That's typical for the average American family. $30,000 of debt, and let's say it costs about $10,000 to $15,000 to put you in the ground. And that could just be the typical funeral cost. You don't want something that's cheap. You don't want something that's, where they selling plates and using, plastic silverware. You want to do something that's decent. You had a great life. You contributed to a lot of people's happiness. You were very loved and revered around the community. So you want to do it the right way. So it's going to cost you about $15,000 to send you home. All right. And let's say your income, I mean, it's not $1 million. I mean, it could be $1 million, or what is it? That's 100,000. Sorry about that. No, that should be 1 million. But yeah, there's only 5 zeros there, but that should be $1 million. Let's say you wanted to, you wanted your kids to have a, how much money did you want to continue your household, for the next 10 years? And let's just, round it off and just say you earn an income of $100,000. So for the next 10 years, you wanted to at least keep your household, your spouse, or your children, or your family. You want to at least have that continue to be maintained at least for the next 10 years. So your wife or so your husband didn't have to worry about your half of the household expenses for at least for the next 10 years. Okay. And let's say your mortgage, the average mortgage has about a $260,000 balance. in the United States. And let's just say you have 2 kids, and it's going to cost about $50,000 each to put them through university or some type of level of secondary school. So that's where those numbers come from. You guys got that? So let's add those numbers up. And let's say you got 100,000 for the education, you got 260,000 for the mortgage. You have $30,000 of debt that we want to completely wipe out, so that way our spouses, our families are no longer responsible for that. And then it's going to cost us $15,000 to put us in the ground. So that means that's a total of $1 million, right? All right. So we see how that, or our income is $1 million. I'm sorry, 100,000, which is where that number comes from. But we want to give our family $1 million to basically have a remainder or receive that money on a monthly basis for the next 10 years. Now, the thing is, you already have a $500,000 policy in place. So the difference there would be $900,000. So if you add up our numbers here using the dime method, that leads us to a total of $1.4 million. But we already have, and I'm getting, this is just an example, you already have $500,000 coverage in place for your insurance need. So therefore, in order to make up the difference, we would have you, in this case, in this example, you would need, or I would recommend or suggest that you get at least $900,000 of coverage. That way, you can make up the total balance to achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve, which is to replace your income, $100,000, to pay off your house with a mortgage, to clear all of your debts, your $30,000 of debt, and then also to put you in the ground, the funeral, and then also to have your family receive, the remaining, for the next 10 years, receive that income there, that 100,000 income. So that's what's called the dime method. And because this person in this example already has a $500,000 of coverage, then we would suggest or recommend that they make up the difference. In this case, they would be undercovered, under protected, and then I would recommend that they somehow make up the balance with a $900,000 policy. So that's a simple way. And these numbers could fluctuate. They could change. You can always change your mind. Let's say you don't want your kids to go to school. You don't want your kids to go to college, right, for some reason. Or let's say you live in a more expensive state and you have the mortgage, the balance on your mortgage is much higher than that. So you see how that would adjust the total. And let's say you didn't have a policy in place already. Let's say you had zero coverage, you didn't have anything. So then that would change how these numbers would fluctuate. But I just want to show you this to demonstrate that how much would, or at least a ballpark range of how much protection you would need, so that in the event that you are no longer able to either produce income because of illness, because of sickness, because of disability, or because of death, and you can have your income replaced, so you can at least have your family not have to drastically change their lifestyle, move away, move into a different home, in a different neighborhood, change schools, and at least you can give your kids or at least your loved ones an opportunity that you would have done if you had been around. Okay, so that's the dime method right there. It's a method that I love. It's very simple, and it also protects you, because in the event that somebody were to come up to me and approach me and say, hey man, you should think about getting this, and then I could at least have some ammunition to say, hey man, I like what you say, I like what I hear, but have you considered my mortgage? Have you considered my debt? Have you considered my children's futures and my spouse's future, and also what it takes to put me in the ground? Because I actually want to be buried in Nigeria, or I want to be buried in Japan, or I want to be I want to be cremated. So it takes into account all of those different factors. And it's never just one solution. It's always multiple factors to any type of solution. It's very comprehensive. So if you'd like to learn more about some of these financial concepts, these financial topics, or you just want to bounce some ideas off of your head, you need somebody to talk to, then there is a link in the description below. You can also go to drtech.com where you can set up an appointment and we can sit down for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and we could get some of these ideas out of your head and maybe come up with a solution for you and your family so that you don't have a never-ending black hole of a roadmap, right? You want to at least have some comfort, take some solace in knowing that I'm going down the right path.
Yeah, and they could also scan the QR code too. It'll take them to the booking link.
Yeah, forget those links. Scan the QR code. That's the easiest thing you could do.
Yeah, you scan that, and then they'll have an opportunity to talk to you more about that. So yeah, we're at the top of the second hour of the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, we employ you guys to book a free demo, a complimentary demo with Sabrina. See how she can help your notary business. See what changes we can do. Now, if you're comfortable where you're at, keep rocking on. If you're looking to scale, you're looking to grow, you're looking for some good systems to employ in your business so you're not working as hard, then you definitely want to book a private demo. Tech, any final words, brother?
Hey, don't treat this like this is some type of favor, like you do this as a favor. That leaves an impression on people. Sometimes it's worth it just hearing a different point of view. So if that's all it's going to take to help you get out of that side hustle favor type of zone, then there's no harm in you getting a different perspective. At the very least, you'll learn something.
Share this show with your friends, your fellow notary and all that. And as always, we wish you peace, love, and happiness, and a lot of money. You heard?
As a business owner, you're juggling a lot, and managing phone calls can quickly become overwhelming.
That's where Sabrina, the AI voice automation that turns calls into clients, comes in. Imagine having a reliable 24/7 assistant that never misses a call, handles routine questions, schedules appointments, and directs important calls to the right people, all without needing a human touch.
This frees up your team's time to focus on what really matters, saves you money, and ensures every customer gets a consistent, professional experience. It's like having an extra set of hands, so you can focus on growing your business, not just managing calls.
Scan the QR code to book your free demo today.